Live. NashvilleLou Live. October 7th, 2022. I try to determine how low to go with the music, because I don't want to overwhelm the audio from tonight's game. Blockchain Brawlers. The browser beta is finally here. I'm Lou Pickney with you here. NashvilleLou Live, October 7th, 2022. Would have helped if I would have had this part ready, wouldn't it? There we go. It's opening night. You're going to have a few things go a little bit awry. So Blockchain Brawlers, BCB-007.com. You can play right now. It's free. You don't have to sign up. No gimmicks or anything. It's the browser beta version. There's not any keys. You don't have to, no hoops to jump through. No excuses. I'm running on a 1-minute delay. So I'm hoping that the problem of stream sniping won't be an issue. I love the idea, and I absolutely love the idea of being able to play against people in the live chat in the room where I am. So we're going to see if that'll work out. I'm going to put the link for BCB-007.com there in chat. The easiest way for me to explain Blockchain Brawlers is to tell somebody to just jump in and watch me play a few rounds. Watch a match or two, and you're going to get an idea of how this game works. This is not a pro wrestling game. This is not Retromania, which I played earlier. If you want to watch some of that, check out the archive. I mean, it's there. I've got literally thousands of matches I've sent from Fire Pro Wrestling World. I love pro wrestling. I'm fascinated. It's an absolutely crazy business, and it's really fun as a device for a great strategy game. That's what you've got here with Blockchain Brawlers. I'll be jumping in to play some people here momentarily, but this looks about the same as it did with the Steam beta version, the 60% version. This has better sound effects when you play your cards. Some of the stuff here is still the same. The music's my own music that I was able to procure online from the Creative Commons side. So I think they're going to have plenty of music options when the game launches. Let's see. So we'll go inventory. It's just like before. There are 6 different wrestlers you can choose from. They all do the same thing here. This is not connected to any sort of premium item. Anybody can jump in and play and check them out. Those are your 6 bases. And I'll go to the toy rack looking screen. You go to Brawl. BCB-007.com. There are your choices. My go-to is Scotty Wide-Eye. He's been a good luck charm for me, as it were. Rusty Klutz, who's very fun to use when you do the spinning punch with his rather rotund midsection. Mike Yellerbelly, Johnny Butterfinger, Colt Tenderfoot, and Barry Greenhorn. They're your 6. I'm using Scotty Wide-Eye. I might put a code up. There are some people. Hello to everybody in the Discord group for Blockchain Brawlers. But for now, I'm going to jump in. This is a 1-minute delay, like I said, so let's see if anybody's in here, if it's going to actually work properly. So we'll see. There are a couple of ways you can tell if somebody's actually connected with you or not here. Starting with if they don't have an actual unique looking username, it's kind of a tell. This has only been live here for just a little while, because I have a lot of plates I'm spinning at other things earlier today, this afternoon US time, so it worked out well. They had a bit of a delay on this getting out. Again, this is a browser beta version, no guarantees anything will work per se. You're not going to carry any rewards over to the regular game, but man, you're going to be in for some fun. If this is anything like the 60% version was, 70%, I tested a few rounds out, had a lot of fun playing, but I'm not sure from a timing standpoint how that'll be good, bad, or indifferent relative to the live stream. In the 60% version, you get to 90 seconds in the room, and then it would time you out. Earlier, I got to think it was like 1:10. It just sat there. I mean, it's no big deal. I'll just run it back through. I think I'm going to have a lot more success finding people to play live opponents. It's just that's there's no substitute for this game. Well, I went past 110. I guess I can continue to look for people while I go through. The leaderboard is still... It wasn't particularly registering it correctly earlier. Like in the profile area, again, this won't carry over, but you can set it up. You can pick your name, which is really the most important part. And then on from there. See, I first matchup with unknown player, which I think was a computer opponent. And it was just player ID, which is an opponent who folded every time. And then Mason Your Face beat me in a really good match. It's one of those, like, in hindsight, I wish I had recorded it, but I just wanted to see if the game was going to work. Trying to get this all to set up the way I wanted it to, especially with a 1 minute delay. A little bit more of a challenge. Oh, did it not keep me in there? So I guess we'll check this out. BCB-007.com. Blockchain Brawlers is the game. The browser beta just came out tonight. Brand spanking new. But in essence, this is a strategy game. It's a lot like if you played cards, a sort of like Texas Hold'em. There are certain elements that you will find familiar. There's a bit of bluffing. There's the betting and then the either folding or calling part of it. But there's more to it than that. If it was just a simple, modified version of poker, I wouldn't have this level of enthusiasm for it. So, of course, it's not connecting me, but, it's opening night, and you're going to have this with something brand new. It's not going to necessarily cooperate the way you want it to. Although I would take this over getting a no-show opponent or a computer CPU opponent. I'm looking for that. I want some live action here. I may go look in the Discord channel in a second. I know a couple people posted in their codes. I can just put the code in here in my chat. Then if I do that, I can't go back and get somebody else without undoing what I've done to set it up. So there's still going to be some setting up as far as this goes. This is the 70% version, not 60% as last time. It's 70%. And I'm not sure how they gauge that, and I'm sure that's an estimate to some degree. All right, stand by momentarily. You know what? Let's go through it one more time. One more time through room 1. If nobody matches in there, then I'll either set up a code or I'll see if there's somebody who's ready to go over in the Discord chat. This is supposed to just match up with anybody who happens to be there. A little bit more work with the microphone this morning. I just don't like it, the idea of the mic peaking on me. Part of the problem is I can be very outspoken at times, and that's my broadcasting style. It's been like that since 1995 for me, and it's always going to be like that, just how I am. But the problem for me is just making sure I'm not, shouting right into the microphone directly. So it's that awkward thing having the mic not up against my mouth, but getting enough of my audio where it sounds good, not so much that you're getting overwhelmed and it's peaking the mic. And come on here, I can only stretch so long. Scotty White Ice ready to go. Waiting for more than a week for this. Come on. But essentially, you have a shared deck of 32 cards. 4 each, 1 through 8. And you get dealt 3 cards each for your first hand. You decide which 2 of those 3 cards you want to play. The first card goes face up, and you decide if you want to fold or if you want to bet either 1, 2, or 3. If you're multipliers. You have what's called a power meter. And again, this is so much easier when I can actually show you. All right. Stand by. I'm going to do this. We're going to do something else here to make this work. Hang on. Okay, let's see if this works. 2 different mice I'm trying to use here to make sure I don't want to stop the stream. So let's see if I can connect. I don't even see who it was in the Discord. I have Discord on another computer. I don't trust Discord at all. I don't like the place. But there are some great communities there. And the reason I don't like Discord is because I've seen one Web3 project after another get stunted. because search engines can't look through Discord like they could maybe a generation ago with message boards. So to that end, I think that so much gets left on the table, and it really frustrates me. But there are some great communities on there, and it does allow for the riffraff and the spammers to be kept out to a degree. But I don't know. I don't want to disparage the thing because people love it. I don't be the guy in there dumping on something that other people love. Well, maybe that code isn't active right now. Well, guess what? We're doing this one my way. Whoa, what just happened here? What is this nonsense? I'm not in Oslo. What in the actual? Come on. This is one agitation. Did it close my browser? What in the world's going on here? Well, let's try this again, shall we? Now, I go to all this effort to try and set up to not be like this, and that's what you deal with. Do I have to put everything back in again? Am I going to have to do this, really? Am I really going to do this? Maybe I need to, though. Here, this is the way you can see how it works for somebody. Playing the game the first time, you load it up, here you go. What in the world? Okay. Let's just go to the regular BC Brawlers side. All right, we're just going to do this. You can just see this one the messy way, folks. You try and set up a seamless experience. You try and set up the audio. You try and set up the live stream. It all gets to be a bit of a challenge, but that's part of it. What's going on here? There was one other trick. You can see all my tricks tonight, hey? I don't mean to be the agitated live streamer, but come on. This stuff was worth, of course. Murphy's Law, right? It works in the pre-production. It works when you test it out. It works when you try it and you think it was not going to work, and then you go live and you deal with this. All right, make sure I'm hitting F11 on the right keyboard here. In this setup, we'll go to Brawl. Go to Room 1. Oh, put a code. Yeah, Discord. Damn Discord. Yeah, well, I've got to jump over to that computer to do that. So we're going to wait here for a second. And then if so, because I'm also on a 1-minute delay. Although I guess on Discord I wouldn't be, so that's an advantage of it. We're going to have some fun with this when this gets going, though. The one really good game I had before the live stream started, I folded what would have been a winning hand. And that happens sometimes in blockchain brawlers. All right. Stand by, please. Walk away for a moment, now I'm connected. So playing against Boat. Hey Boat, what's going on? Sorry for slow playing it there initially. Now, why isn't this centered on the screen? God. There. So Boat folded. I had eighths full. So Boat made the right play. Something new with this version. I will have to turn the crowd audio down a little bit. The last live stream I did before the tournament, which I didn't actually live stream, was the audio was so low you couldn't even hear it. Although if I'm going to err on one side, I want to err on the side of it, not ruining my broadcast. But you hear like that little doo-doo, and that clicks in there. I dig that. It's gonna be trouble. Pair of sixes against a 7, unless it's a flex. You know what? I'm out. I'm completely discombobulated at the moment, by the way. So no excuses or whatever. I gotta get concentrated here. So excuse me if I'm not being amusing here at the moment. There's a delay where they have this emote where you can, like, the first person to walk in, that was a flex, so I shouldn't have folded. So I got hit with 2 damage. Because of the flex, it doubles the power meter. Power meter goes up by 1 if you win a round. If you win a round with a 1 or a 3, it goes up by an additional 2. And that's the power of the flex. Oh my goodness. You know what? Up against a 7, it'd be a push if boat has a 7 and boat has an 8 as the undercard in the slam position. Then that's a loss. I'll take my chances here. 3 against a 3. We'll see. I'm hoping it's a pair of 7s. If it's 7-8, then that's going to be a hard hit for me. Eight. And I'm down to 11. And just like that, that's where that power meter comes in, because it was a tripler betting 3, so it's 3 times the power meter, which was on a 4. So you see how this can get out of hand real quick if you don't play it right. I'm getting outplayed severely right now against a 2. Might as well stick around, because you reset your power meter to 1 if you lose on a showdown when you both choose not to fold on a given hand. This is round 4. I'm sticking in there. They folded, so I'm glad I stuck around. They're protecting their power meter. Plus, if you fold, you get an extra card for the next hand. That goes up to, Hey, Neon, yeah, it was a tough one there with a flex. Sometimes timing is everything, especially in this game. All right, so I'm up to 6 now on the power meter. My cards are still kind of brutal. So this will likely be a fold here, unless it will be a fold. I mean, the problem, though, is that's like a 7-3. That's a flex. That doubles that to a 10 damage. I'm getting down to 1. But you got to pick your poison sometimes. And the worst is to get down late and not have many cards in your hand. Because when you feel obligated to play every time and never fold, you're not getting those extra cards, and you can just get steamrolled fast. So I folded, and that was the right play to fold. 5 damage is still quite a bit. That's going to push their power meter up to 6. So boat will be at 6. That means a single hit to me